In today's video, we start off in Ripon, California at the North River Dealer Boat Country. The friendly staff there helped me design the boat and is where I placed my order. They just notified me the build is complete. It's the day I've been waiting for, so I headed up to Roseburg, Oregon, the home of the North River factory, where we'll be going on a tour to see how the boats are made, show you my new boat, and then driving it home. Well, what's going on, everyone? Thanks for checking out another of my videos. So we just arrived to the North River factory here. If you guys are new to the channel or haven't checked in a while, I sold my 2007 North River boat. I used it for the last 3 years. It was a 20-foot Seahawk. And yeah, placed an order end of October and we're middle of March now, and the boat's ready and I'm here to pick it up and can't wait to get back out fishing again. I missed having a boat. I sold mine in January. So yeah, we're gonna do a factory tour today inside of there and see how these boats are made, and I'll be leaving here with my new boat. So we'll go ahead and see that at the end together for the first time, and we'll go in right now and meet some of the staff here and see how these boats are made. All right, should be a fun one.
Hey, how you doing, Chris?
Good.
Good seeing you, buddy.
You too, thanks for having me today.
Yeah.
So we have Chris here, he's a dealer sales rep for North River.
Yep. So today we're going to check out Chris's new 25 hardtop. We just finished up at the factory. So he wanted to come out and do a factory tour. So we're going to show him around and show him the process of how a boat starts out as a flat piece of aluminum and ends up as a full boat to go out and catch some fish.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get started on this tour then.
This building is our new large fab shop. We had this constructed about 3 or 4 years ago. It's about 37,000 square feet that we've added to North River. We're building much larger boats, obviously, and we needed the space to accommodate those type of builds.
Nice.
As you look over here, you see on top of the roof, we also got solar panels. We added those when we included the expansion. So we're running, well, putting power back to the grid, I guess you could say.
Roughly how many people work here?
Right now we're at about 142 employees. As you guys know, we recently acquired Willie Boats under the parent company of 44 North Marine. So that's all going well down there, and they're still their own separate entity, and we're our own entity. So
nice.
Here we go.
They gave you safety glasses.
All right, so as you can see, this is our large fab shop. High ceilings. They got ducts in the ceiling to get the gases and the heat out. We got full insulation. So during the winter and summer times, these guys are basically spoiled with their facility now. The right side of the building over here is pretty much the commercial side. So that's where you'll see a lot of the commercial builds, government contracts, or one-off custom builds are usually built on this side of the large fab shop. The left side is where the recreational boats are built. So anything from a 25 offshore all the way up to a 37 VXL is built on the left-hand side. And you can see each bay will have a cart full of the parts from the router machine and the press brakes and shears. They kind of pre-make as much as they can, and then they'll bring it to the bay for the guys to assemble in their fab bay.
That's a commercial one?
So this boat right here, this is our endurance model. I believe it's a 32 endurance with an 11-foot cabin. So this is one of our newer models. As some of you may know, we are celebrating our 50th anniversary this year, and this is one of the new models that we added to the 50th anniversary year, as well as the Pursuit model as well. So right here is one of the hardtop bays. So Chris's boat, it was hauled up in the other shop. We'll get over there to that in a moment. But it comes over here as a bare hull, and then the fabricators will put the hardtop and all the other stuff on the outside of the boat on this side of the building. And then once it's complete, it'll go into a staging area, and the staging area is right before it goes into the paint phase. So it goes through a fab QC checklist. So they verify if everything is, you know, all the options are there, all the standards are there that were on the work order at the time it started in production. Once the QC guy checks it off, it then therefore moves into the next phase of production, which is the paint phase. This is a 25 hardtop, it's a 24 model year. So this one has a transom door on it. You got your kicker bracket, your boarding ladder, if you will. And you got your aft station on this one, so they selected that option. Your net holder and rod holders. And it'll be going on to paint next. This boat over here is an offshore build. So they're just now constructing the cabin on it. You can see the windows aren't cut out all the way.
Yeah.
So all we cut out is just the corners to keep those the most consistent. And then you can see the bracing as they're putting it together. Once everything is fully welded, then we'll cut the windows out. That way it helps with keeping everything as flat as possible. So this section over here is where we, these are our 2 jigs for the offshores. These ones are built upside down, as you can see on the jig. And then once they're fully built for as far as he can take it on the jig, they flip it over using the crane, and then it goes over to the underside bay. And then when he's done, then he flips it back up and puts it on the cart, and it goes over to one of the fab bays for them to start assembling the cabin and all the options that are in the boat. So Chris, your boat, one of the phases for your boat was this is ready for a hardtop phase. So this boat comes over here looking like a convertible, and then once one of the hardtop fastback bays opens up, this boat will go into that bay, and then they'll start putting the top on it just like yours did in the phase. This is a TIG weld, so a lot of the small items get TIGged on, and then the rest of the boat is pretty much a MIG weld with a gun, wire feeds through it, and then they MIG weld it. And then you got your isolation welds or your drag welds, depending on where it's at. Depends on which type of weld it gets.
Yeah, I've always heard one of the things that sets you guys apart is the welds and the aluminum.
Yeah, we try to keep it, again, as clean as possible, but there is no machines here building these boats. It is all man-made. So, and then you can see your dime welds here. Kind of like a, so we got to distribute the heat. So like changing a tire, right? You do your star pattern. So, I mean, not to the exact point, but when they weld, they're not going to just start at one end and weld continuously all the way through. You're going to have a boat that's very wavy. But to distribute some of that heat is you start in one area, do 10 or 12 inch weld, and then go to a different area, and you complete that cycle until you're completely done with your boat.
Interesting.
So over here is what we call a sub-assembly. So these guys over here pre-assemble fish boxes, any type of fuel tanks or cabinetry. It's all done over here. Pre-bend rails, put together rods and rod holders is all done over here in sub-assembly. And then when they're done with them, of course, they take it over to the guys in the fab bays, and then they'll start assembling them actually on the boat. So this is where your boat started its life on the steel jig, is in here. We have roughly 6 small wreck bays in here, 6 jigs, if you will. There's the steel jig right there. You can see the jacks pushing the boat down onto the jig as they're assembling it. And then he's getting ready to put the offshore bracket on. So you can see how the side plate goes into our chine, and then they weld it inside and out. So it's slotted, right? So the side goes inside, and then the bottom, 1/4 inch bottom, will go into the chine, and then they weld it inside and out. If you look inside here, you can see the inside of that chine fully welded. So right now, he's just now putting in the bulkhead, and that starts your dash, right? And then they'll start putting the dash on, and then they'll come back here, start doing the offshore bracket, putting your box girders in, start putting your flooring and your trays in, and then start configuring the rear cowling as well. So this one's a little bit further along, so you can see the box girders have already been welded inside. The dash is a little bit further along, so the dash is already in. And rear cowling, so the guys over at sub-assembly have already pre-bent this and prefabricated it. Now all they got to do is set it inside, put it in place, and then start welding it in. So one common misconception that I hear at a lot of boat shows from customers is they'll see this on the backside of the North River is TIGged usually, and they think that's how thick the boat is, and it's not that thick, because the transom comes across and then 90s back, and then the side material extends past the transom, and those two are together, and then we TIG weld that. So you have 190 and then 160 welded together with a TIG. So that's actually what your thickness is, the side is right there with the 160. So again, a lot of this stuff is just tacked on, because it'll go over to another phase where the guy will start TIGging everything fully. So this boat here has the transom kicker bracket. Standard is a swim deck with a swim deck mount kicker bracket, but this dealer or customer has chosen to do obviously a tiller, some type of remote Garmin Reactor 40 maybe, or something like that. So this one's a lot further along. You got your rear cowling, two storages, your receptacle for your ski pylon, and then the dash and the windows are already fully in there. Another pretty common option is our diamond plate bow guard. You see this on a lot of our boats. One of the most popular, like the transom doors, is a pretty popular option. Rigid top frames are pretty popular. In-floor fish boxes. So like I said, Chris, once it's done here, hold up for your boat, which is a hard top. It looks like a convertible. That's one of the staging areas. And then it'll go through that door into the big shop where it goes into a bay for them to put the top on. In all reality, this is where it all begins. Again, flat piece of aluminum. And then it goes on to the CNC machine. And then over to there once they're done bending them and cutting them. All right, here we go for some paint. We have 3 bays to start prepping the boats for the paint booth. So they'll start sanding on all the aluminum, grinding any welds that need ground off so that we can put the body work on them. And then they start polishing and brushing the rails, and then they'll wrap it. And then once it's all wrapped and done, like this boat right here, the next phase is they get pushed into the paint booth where they'll start adding the color. We're in the center of the paint shop. You can kind of see everything. So over here is the offshore area. So these are the bigger boats. So we have roughly 3 or 4 bays of big boats over here that we can, sand on and prep for paint. This booth right here, this big wooden structure, is our sandblast booth. So every boat gets sandblasted. So all the welds get blasted and get all the oils and impurities out of it, so that when we start spreading bodywork on it, it adheres to it better. We have 2 small paint booths. And we got 1 medium over there, and our newest, largest booth is this one right here. We had this put in when we did the expansion for the large fab shop. So this boat in here is a fastback. It looks like they're just now prepping it for, looks like the roll-on material or the sand pattern. So this one here is an offshore boat. Looks like they're unmasking it. So the night shift that we had probably finished spraying that up last night. So now that it's cured, they're starting to unwrap all the rails and all the paper off of it and do any type of touch-up. And then once they're done with that, then they'll go into a cut and buff phase and get all like the paint runs or fruit flies or anything that lands in the paint. It happens. There's no perfect situation, but you got to cut and buff it out. And the paint we use is just an automotive paint. If you wanted it to match your truck, your 1975 truck, as long as it's not a tri-coat, we'll attempt to spray it. So the next phase we're going to go into is the outfitting shop. So once the boat is done in paint QC, they've cut and buffed it and everything checks off, it goes right into the outfitting. So once the boat enters the outfitting, some of the offshores or like the fastbacks and stuff, they'll stop here at this staging area. This is our wood shop where they build, we used to do our wood floors, some of the cabinetry, any cladding material, stuff for the cabinets is all pre-built here, and then once it's ready to go into an outfitting bay, they'll push it over there. So this one's a 31 offshore with an 11-foot cabin. It's got twin 300s on it. It's got the painted rail option. You see all the rails are painted and all the rod holders and everything. Again, transom door.
One of the things that I didn't know is that you guys put the motors on, so they get shipped to you and you guys install them?
Yep. So I mean, we'll do Yamahas, we'll do Hondas, we'll do Suzukis, Mercuries. A lot of it depends on the dealer. Some of the dealers are just Honda rep only, or Honda and Yamaha. So that kind of depends when they're going through who's getting what. But for the most part, we do a lot of Yamaha, but we'll put on whatever the customer really wants. Over here is our offshore builds for recreational side. So we have 2 bays for that. This one again is one of our newest endurance models being built. Got a bleed tank on the back. And then we have four small rec bays. There's 3 over here, there's 1 over here. So these are the guys that assembled your hardtop basically. Our rigid top frames on like the Seahawk builds, these all get sent off to powder coating. So this is a powder coat. And then they'll, put the rivets on the carpet and they'll dome light. And then when it's done, it'll be placed on the boat just like that one over there and get wrapped with canvas. This one here is one of our 20-foot Seahawks. The 18 and 20 footers get vinyl on the side, so they don't get paint on the side. So again, you prep it for vinyl, and then once it's ready to have the vinyl applied, they'll stick it on there and then put the logos over the top of it. This section right here is our carpet section. So anything that carpet kit wise that needs cut for each boat gets cut out here. Any pre-wrapped boxes that need assembled get assembled over here. This is our upholstery shop and our parts and service area. So inside here is where we do all of our canvas tops and assemble all of our upholstery in-house. So the boats actually come over from fab as a bare hull. And we try to pre-drill as many holes before paint as possible to help cut down on corrosion. So when it gets into rigging, the top is already made. They just got to put it on. All the canvas and upholstery is done at the point when this boat leaves this facility to go to paint. So inside this curtain here is where the sewers are. So once the guys out here cut the patterns up, get everything together, that goes in here, and then they start sewing everything together. Once it's all sewn together, we'll refit it, make sure it all fits right, and then once it gets checked off as good to go, it moves on to the next phase. This seat here is one of my favorite seats. This is the Ocean Master seat. It's got lots of definition. It's just a different style that we offer. So if you're talking to your salesman, it's one of the options you have to select from if you want to. But the most popular is the Mariner suspension seat. But this is the Ocean Master. And like I said, all the canvas tops are already pre-made, so they go on a cart, and then once this thing's folded up, they'll take it over to the outfitting, and it sits there, waits for the boat to come out. This is our final QC lineup. So once the boat has gone through with the checklist that no rips, torn, scratches, broken, everything works properly, once it's been QC'd, it goes out the door, and then we get notified to notify the dealer that, hey, your boat's ready for pickup. Okay. This wall right here is something we added new when we announced that North River was an ESOP company. These are all the employees that work here in their position, and the management at the top is who's currently in charge. And then of course our motto, cheers to the people who make it happen every day. And then of course, be the person you want to work with.
It's a good motto.
Very positive work environment. Yeah. Cool. All right, Chris, well I'm sure your anticipation to see your new boat is
It's definitely been growing since I've been in here for sure too. It's so cool how you make them. So you got
any questions on any of our process that you may have? Or
I don't have any, but if you guys have any questions, please go ahead and comment below and try and get some answers for you.
Yeah, feel free to, you can call me, call your dealer. You guys can schedule tours, or if you have questions or concerns, again, call your dealer, talk to your salesman. If they don't know the answer, they'll call me, or you can call me. My name's Chris at North River.
Great. All right, well, you guys want to go see my boat? We'll go see it for the first time together.
All right, Chris, there it is. Your 25 white hard top.
Nice. All right.
Got your Honda engines on there. It's on your versatile trailer.
Certainly a lot bigger than my last one, huh, guys? Wow, I feel like I'm speechless. Not sure what to say.
So again, your 50th anniversary placard, noting that it's our 50th anniversary.
Nice.
24 model year. Well, what do you think?
I love it. Can't wait to get it on the water. It's be about a few more weeks. Gonna have to get all the electronics installed.
You know what you're putting on it?
Yeah, I'm gonna get some Garmin.
Okay.
All right.
Well, do you want to take a look inside?
Yeah, let's jump up there. Look at those nice seats. Oh yeah.
Lots of space, man.
Seats are nice and wide.
Yeah, that's a new diamond upholstery we did for, again, the 50th anniversary. Not sure what we're going to do for 25 model year yet, but so how tall are you, Chris?
6 foot.
6 foot. So what's your headspace thinking here? What are you happy with it?
Yeah, I mean,
Plenty of room?
Yeah, looks like it. Definitely don't have to crouch.
Yeah, the Mariner suspension seats are standard on all of our Seahawk outboards, hard tops, and fastbacks.
Save my back a little bit on those bumpier days going out the gate.
And then your rear cowling boxes, you have 2 of them. And then your ski pylon receiver.
So we got rod holders on the side here and up top.
You got your dual downrigger brackets.
I also extended the rails out. I think they're 16 inches farther than standard.
Yeah, typically this rail would have ended probably right in here somewhere. And so he's extended it and then had the secondary downrigger added on. We've also upgraded the rope cleats from previous years. They used to be 6-inch, now they're 8-inch rope cleats.
Dual helm, so I'll be able to steer out here while we're trolling.
Inside here, Chris, is where your batteries are, your battery switches. You got your fuel water separator. Your washdown pump is right here. You got your filter for your washdown pump, so that hose is coming from the bottom side. It's picking up your raw water coming in through there, go through the filter, and then out through the washdown pump.
Nice.
You got your holes in the back. These drain right into the bilge. So if you get a lot of water on back here, it goes right into the bilge, and your bilge kicks on with your auto flow.
Nice.
Distributes the water out of the bilge. These right here, if you twist that off, it's your access to your fuel sending unit for whatever reason. If you ever have to access it, you pull that cap out, you can access your fuel sending unit. And up here is another access for your fuel hoses. If you pull that cap off, you can see the hoses ran underneath there.
What's the size of the fuel tank? Was it 100 gallons?
25 foot.
Yeah.
It's a 90-gallon tank.
90-gallon tank.
Yep.
Okay.
So every boat comes with your touch-up paint and all the manuals of the items that we installed on the boat. There should be some drain plugs in here. Key fobs and keys are all right there.
Nice.
Well, any questions on your boat, Chris?
No, none at the moment, that's for sure. Looks great. Can't wait to get out there. So happy to have it.
The next video I see, I better see a record fish, lots of blood on it.
That's right.
Any plans for your first maiden voyage?
Probably be a trip in San Francisco Bay for some halibut. We need the bite to pick up. It's been pretty slow to start the year, huh, guys? If you've been paying attention to the reports out there. But I think we'll be getting some warmer weather, and I think the fish were waiting to show up until I got the boat. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and put it on the trailer now and hit the road and bring it to boat country so they can do their thing to it, and then we'll get off to Jim at Real Custom Boat Works. He's been doing the electronics on it for me. He's my boat guy. He's been doing that for a few years, and then also can get some bottom paint on it. So yeah, we'll show you guys that process and some videos to come. But yeah, what we do into the boat, and then get out fishing with it soon. Looks like I got it right on it. Nice. All right, we got her loaded up on the back of the truck. Ready to start this drive back to California. If you guys enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for some fishing videos to come out on this boat here pretty soon. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. All right, later, guys.